If you could do anything and you would still win, if you could take any action and you would still reach your desire, what action would you be taking? I took a lot of breaks in January and in December. I took breaks from posting on YouTube. I don't know how many months it had been since I started posting on Instagram. And then I recently started posting on Instagram and Facebook again. And the thing about Instagram and Facebook is combined, there's like 500 people there. On my Facebook like business page, it's just not very active. On my Instagram page, maybe I get like less than 10 likes per post, and there's nothing quote unquote wrong with my engagement. It has always been like standard and expected. 1% of your audience, 4% of your audience, and all of these different things. But I recently had an experience where it doesn't happen to me often because I usually don't look at the numbers. I usually ignore the numbers completely for a million reasons, which maybe we'll talk about. But I had looked to view who viewed my Instagram story. No, let me pause and let me say this again. So I started posting on Instagram and Facebook pretty consistently for like the month of January. We've done like what, 4 or 5 weeks of me doing probably 5 posts a week. Um, I tried to do like Monday through Friday. Excuse me, I'm like finding the right words. Anyway, so I'm posting on Instagram, I'm posting my graphics, and I share it to my Instagram story. And there are people who will like my Instagram story, like they'll like the graphic, but they don't click the graphic and they don't read it, or they do read, but they don't like it, or whatever. And I find that to be irritating, because why wouldn't you just like the Instagram post? Like, what? And then there are people who watch my Instagram stories. There are people who don't miss my Instagram stories, you know? And it's like you watch every one of my Instagram stories, but you don't like my Instagram posts. I think it's weird fucking behavior. I do. I think it's weird behavior. And I also had to just sit with myself and acknowledge the experience that I'm having with my Instagram audience is a reflection of my vibration. I have never deliberately tapped into the energy of having an Instagram that is alive and thriving with a huge community. Yes, you can feel irritated. And the thing about it is, and we have to talk about this, 2.5. The reason that it irritates me is not because likes mean anything about me. The likes do not are not an indicator of my income. The likes don't impact my income. But the experience specifically of creating content, sharing it to my platform, sharing it to my story, and seeing people see what I'm creating and deliberately like not like it, or it's weird fucking behavior, and it irritates me. It really does irritate me, because it doesn't make me feel like I'm the member of a community who is engaging with that community. It makes me feel like I'm an animal in a zoo being observed. And I'm actually done with the monitoring spirit vibe that's been going on my Instagram for who even fucking knows how long. And I'm sitting here and I'm just like, but I would be wrong if I blocked every single motherfucking person who saw that Instagram story and didn't like that picture. And I was like, I really need to have an experience where I block everybody who sees my Instagram stories but doesn't like the picture. And if I block everybody on my followers list except for the 4 people who consistently like my shit, like, so be it. So fucking be it. Because act like you want to have me here. I don't have to be here. I don't have to post here. I don't have to teach here. I don't have to give here. And then I said, wait a second. You're on to something. I don't have to post here. I don't have to give here. I don't have to be here. I'm not particularly a fan of Instagram. I'm not particularly a fan of the algorithm. And then I start thinking like a businesswoman. What is your goal with Instagram? Is your goal outreach? Is your goal growing your audience? No, it's not. What's your goal on Instagram? Well, my current goal on Instagram would be to convert the audience that I already have to paying customers and students. You have an audience of 500 people in Instagram and Facebook, and the engagement is so low. I have an email list that is larger than my Facebook and Instagram combined. And I get pretty damn good open rates for my email list. Really good open rates for my email list. So the time and the attention and the energy and the effort and the money that it costs, because I've been growing and expanding my team. And so now I'm not the person who's posting on the Instagrams and on the Facebooks. So the time that it takes for me to create the content and send it over and have it be posted, and the money and the energy that it takes me to maintain this, is it even worth it? I haven't been using hashtags the whole time because I don't give a damn about hashtags. Because I don't give a damn about trying to be discovered on Instagram right now. I don't give a damn about growing and expanding my audience on Instagram. And I had to sit with myself and I had to be honest about the fact that I don't give a damn. I've made a couple different posts about this over the years, at least one. Like, all of the people who follow me don't like my posts, and I still make money. Anytime I want to monetize any platform, I'm always successful at it. When I want to make money through Instagram and I put energy towards Instagram, then people start to buy through Instagram. When I want money through TikTok and I put energy towards TikTok, then people start to buy through TikTok. And the same goes for YouTube, and the same goes for the podcast. When I start putting energy towards growing things, then things grow. But I don't want to grow everything. I don't want to grow across every platform. My life is changing. The work that I'm doing is changing. I'm being called to do more. Not just do more in this business, but do more in terms of other business ideas and other creativity, growing and expanding my personal brand. I am growing into my next phase of adulthood and entrepreneurship and creativity and like my artistry. I have been transitioning into this more and more, and there are really significant things that are happening in my life to where by the end of the year, I will not have the capacity to show up in this business in the way that I've been showing up in the business over all of the years. And we've talked about this across the podcast, where as my other ventures continue to need more and more of my time, energy, and effort, I have to have a team that supports me. I have to have people that helps me to sustainably keep my business running while I'm doing other important things. So, a part of that transition towards having a team that is supporting me, being more hands off in my business while also scaling my business, that means increasing the income of my business. I have had to get really, really real about what I want to do and how I want to serve and how I want to give. That looked like clean slate on the TikTok. Because TikTok will be the place that I go to when it's time to grow and expand my personal brand. I don't like TikTok for business. And not that my personal brand won't turn into a business, but I don't like TikTok for this business. This business that we do, the business of creating transformation. I don't want to give you a mindset shift in 2 minutes because you're on an app that's made for people with short attention spans and I have to do this and I have 3 seconds to get your fucking attention. I don't want to do that shit. I want to sit down and I want to have a conversation with you for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours if we're really feeling fucking crazy. I want to have an in-depth conversation with you about a particular topic, about a particular mindset shift, a particular way of seeing the world. I want to tell you anecdotes and stories from my life. I want to help you understand the lessons that I have learned in nearly a decade of personal development work and entrepreneurship and my spiritual practice. Like, oh my God. And along this journey, I have created courses and programs that are full of the steps that I took and the mindset shifts that changed everything for me. One thing at a time. I have learned how to change my mind and change my life. I have learned how to rewire my subconscious mind. I have taken myself from being incredibly anxious to, I really feel so safe and secure right now. And I just feel safer every single day. And I'm supported by money and I live an experience where when I want more money and I want money to flow in, I open up my journal before I log into my computer. So I'm doing work behind the scenes, but a lot of it is mindset work. It's EFT tapping work. It's spiritual work, talking with my spirit guides, angels, and ancestors. I did the Capricorn new moon magical working. And that shit worked so fucking good. It put me in a situation where I never wanted to work again. I'm just kidding. It was about work less and make more. And baby, that energy shifted the fuck out of me. Where I could observe and see myself being in that old situation and that old story that says, we got to increase our funds. We got to increase our income. So let's do this. Let's do a reading for this. Let's do that. Let's do this. I was going to start a Patreon again. I recorded one video for it. Couldn't record the other videos for it because I just didn't have the desire. I just didn't have the capacity. I wasn't lit on fire for it. It's like over the course of January, I developed this disdain for doing work just for the sake of getting money. And it's not something, it's not like anything that I do has ever been just for the sake of getting money, but sometimes if I feel that sense of panic or that sense of worry, that sense of stress about money or about bills, and like that fear that I'm not going to be taken care of, my hyper masculine side, the way that I have operated, right, a majority of my life, that kicks in and it's like, well, do the thing that you know for sure is going to get you money. Do the thing that you know for sure is going to attract funds towards you. But that's like putting a band-aid on a gunshot wound. It might give you a little bit kind of sort of just like concepts of temporary relief. But it's not healing. I'm not going deeper. So now, instead of going into the hypermasculine and taking action, I'm actually sitting with those triggers and I'm actually going deeper and I'm actually doing the work from the receiver's mindset. I'm going deeper with my self-worth and I'm addressing these limiting beliefs that I have been operating out of for so long. And I just wasn't even thinking about it, because instead of sitting with myself and sitting with my fear and my worry, I was taking action and I was creating readings or extended readings or whatever. And I just can't do that anymore, because it takes the fun out of it. I have to enjoy my job. I have to like what I do. And that doesn't mean that I don't sometimes face challenges, but when I love what I do, the love that I have for what I'm doing is bigger than the challenge. When I'm not having a good time and I'm miserable, the challenge of getting up, the challenge of being disciplined, it is far too great. I'm not going to do that. I will never be the woman who forces herself to do work that she does not want to do. It's just in me to not do that. It is in me to stop. It is in me. I want to say it's in me to give up. It is in me to throw in the towel, which is so funny, because if you know me and this isn't your first time listening to the podcast, you know that I am a resilient woman. You know that I'm a woman who fights for what she wants. You know that I'm a winner. You know that I am somebody who gets what she wants all of the motherfucking time. If you do not see me having something that I desire, that means that I am in process, because my desires are already mine and my desires are my destiny, and I can do anything that I put my mind to. I believe in myself and I believe in my ability to co-create my reality. That means I believe in my ability to team up with God, to team up with like the fabric of time, space. I believe in my ability to vibrate in alignment with my desires. And as I am a vibrational match to my desires, I magnetize ideas and people and places and things into my fucking world. It has to come in. The money has to show up. The sales have to show up. The income has to increase, because I am a vibrational match to it. It's not a guessing game. It's not something that I'm wishing for. It's something that I expect. It's something that I know. Oh my God. I forgot where I was at the beginning of that fucking sentence. Literally, where the fuck was I in that sentence? Oh my God. I got so lost in that. I got so lost in that. So that's what my affirmations look like, by the way. That's what my affirmations look like, by the way. That's what my personal self-talk looks like. That's, you want to peek inside my brain? You want to know how I talk to myself? Those are the conversations that I have. When I have a moment of doubt, when I have a moment of fear, when I have a moment of I can't do it, those are the conversations that I have. That's the way that I talk to myself. And it's my job to help you so that you are the kind of woman who also talks to herself in that way. But it's not about copying what I say. It's about having that internal sense of conviction. It's about knowing who you are and who you get to be and what you've come here to create, being strong in that, being unwavering in that. That's what it's my job to it is my job to help you create that. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. She's finding it. She's finding it. She's getting the thoughts in her mind together. Okay. So we have to stop there. What the hell are we talking about in today's episode? What if you could do everything that you wanted to do in... I am really thrown off, because what the fuck was I saying in that sentence? I was saying it's in me to give up, but it's not in me to give up because I'm a resilient woman. Oh, yeah. Okay. Finishing my train of thought. I was never going to feel satisfied until I finished that train of thought. Okay. So this is my finished train of thought. My finished train of thought is this. It is in me to give up. And when I say that it is in me to give up, I mean, there is something intrinsically inside of me that refuses to do things that I don't want to do. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. If I'm miserable and I'm not having a good time, I'm not going to fucking do it. And I believe that there's wisdom in that. I believe that there's wisdom in my fucking body in that. Like, that stubborn fucking energy. It's very scorpionic of me, that like need for personal empowerment and autonomy and being able to have the power to say, no, I'm not going to do this. Like, it means something to me. And I also trust myself. Like, I trust my body. I don't know if I've told you guys this story before. I know that I've recorded myself telling the story, but I don't know if I've published it. But if I haven't, you'll hear it a second time and it'll be really good. So when I was in high school, there were a lot of assignments that I did not do. One assignment I talked about in a previous episode, I didn't write an essay because the article that was passed out was racist, and I'm not gonna write a fucking essay on this racist ass article. I'm not going to analyze this racist ass article because it's a racist ass article and it is full of stereotypes and it really has this right leaning bias. I'm not going to engage with this in any fucking way. And so, of course, I got a 0 for that assignment. But then there were other things like rating assignments that I'm sorry, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. Okay, also, um, just saying, what I'm saying out loud right now is not what I think that all people should do. From my current perspective, if I was my teenage parent, I would have handled things a lot differently, but we're not talking about my current perspective, we're talking about my previous perspective. My my teenage self subconscious perspective and a perspective that I actually really respect. Okay, here's my thought process. It wasn't my thought process back then, but I can look back at it and I can understand this was your thought process. Okay, you have me from 7 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm doing extracurriculars, and so I am at the school from 7 o'clock to probably 4 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock. Especially if it's like a day of like a football game or something like that, and I'm in a specific class, and so a specific class in a specific what are those things called, club, and so I'm there after school doing things to get stuff together for the club and the things that the club is doing at the football game, right? I'm here a lot. I'm here and I'm present and I'm in class and I'm learning. When I go home, I want to have me time. I want to have time to watch The Office. I want to have time to do hood rat shit with my hood rat friends. I will never get upset with myself for all of the work that I did not do when I was in high school, because little did she know she was going to turn 18. She was going to go off to college. And then she was going to leave college in the middle of her second year. She was going to start a business. She was going to be an entrepreneur. And then she was going to get locked into her house for 6 or 7 years. I only started going outside last year, and that was to go to the gym. And it wasn't like a hermit, I'm so terrified of the outside world thing. I was just in the fucking house working on myself, healing from my past childhood experience. I can't imagine a life experience where I had worked my ass off, didn't have a life when I was in high school, got to college, didn't have a life while I was in college, and then left college to do this fucking business and then proceeded to have, again, no fucking life? Hell no. I wouldn't have made it. I wouldn't have made it. The partying that I did in 2016 is the reason why I'm here recording this podcast today. Like, thank you, Buki. Because you did need to be out doing hood rat shit with your hood rat friends. Very good. Like, like that reson. I get that. I really get that. Because it was sold to me that I should work really hard while I'm in high school, and then that sets me up for a really great future. I disagree with that very strongly. I think that your 20s is the time that you're really setting yourself up for a really great future, but also there is no perfect time. There is no age of your life where it's too late to reinvent yourself or heal yourself or change or whatever. But I like my life and I like what I did with it. I was already doing the fucking most. I am here at this school all fucking day. I have the extracurriculars and the clubs. I need to hang out with my friends. I need to go to a party. I need to listen to some good music. I need to do some shit that I'm not supposed to do. I need to go be a teenager. I need to go be free. Good for her. I respect it. So there was a moment, or there were many moments when I was in high school where I just wasn't doing my school work. I was doing other things. And I felt really bad about it. And I felt really guilty about it the entire time that it was happening. Because this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm failing, and I'm never going to be able to go to a really good school because of this, and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, by the time that I graduated, I had a low GPA, so I wasn't eligible to apply to any of the UCs. And I say this all the time, and I mean it. I would never lie to you. So if I was disappointed, I would tell you that I was disappointed. But I remember learning about the UCs and going to the presentations and all of that stuff. And everybody's like, oh my God, it's so cool. Like, it's UCLA. But then they show you the fucking campus and it looks a goddamn mess. Like, isn't this UCLA? No budget for the campus, I see. No budget for the campus beautification. No budget for the aesthetic, I see. You really put it all in the education, in the educating the students, I'm sure, because it's not aesthetically pleasing. Now, if at some point I do decide to attend UCLA, I would like for it to be recorded on the record that I never said anything negative about the campus. I always loved it. Everything about it was amazing. Everything about it is perfect. I especially love what they've done with it aesthetically. I look at it, I see something beautiful. I see some place I'd love to live. I see some place I'd love to go to school. I'd love to learn. Anyway, I was a teenage kid and I was like, this really isn't that great. And then I ended up going on a very long search. I was looking for colleges all over the country and all over the world because all of the colleges that everybody was telling me about, I just couldn't apply to them. I applied to and was accepted into a couple CSUs, but you know, it really wasn't my dream. So I'm looking at colleges and I'm looking at campuses all over and I'm learning and I'm making my choices and selections. And then I find New York City. And of course, I want to go to New York City, even though I don't really know much about New York City, but it is the farthest possible point away from my home on the map. So I'm already interested. And it's an aesthetically beautiful place. So I ended up deciding to go to college in New York City. Oh my God, so amazing, so wonderful. My college experience was fabulous in terms of education. Other stuff about my college experience was not good at all. It was very bad, and I don't even want to discuss it. The point that I'm making is that I ended up at the perfect college campus for me for the time being. I ended up in a city that I felt so deeply in love with. It doesn't make any sense. I ended up coming out of my shell so much, starting my self love journey, having my first spiritual awakening, and really tuning into my psychic gifts and talents and skills. I started my first YouTube channel in New York City and then pivoted. First, I was doing vlogs. I'm so upset that I deleted that channel and those vlogs were deleted right along with it. I didn't have that same respect for history in the same way that I have now back then, but there were vlogs on that channel which then got unlisted, and then it turned into oracle readings and tarot readings and pick a card readings, and that was my first everything. I left school to start the business once my first YouTube account reached 6,000 subscribers, and it was my channel was growing really rapidly at the time. So it went from like 2,000 to 6,000 really, really quickly. And I was just like, I want to be doing this work. I don't want to do anything else. I want to help people. I want to serve people. And I don't want to study what I'm studying. But that's not the point. We're now getting a little bit too far into the story. What's my reason for bringing this up? When I was in high school, I was supposed to be doing a million other things than what I was doing. If you looked at what was happening while I was in high school, you would have said, this girl is failing. She's not going to have a future. You would have said, this girl's not going to be able to go to a good college. I didn't have to go to a good college. I went to the college that I needed to go to. And I'm not going to say that I went to a bad college. The college that I went to had a really good science program, which is the main reason why I started going to college. And I really loved my English program that I was a part of, and like I loved my departments of my school, and I thought that there was a lot of things about it that was really, really good. um what what is my point? My point is I ended up where I needed to be, even though it looked like I was doing things that would create failure. And so I don't look back at my high school experience and think, "Oh my god, I really slacked off and I really fucked everything up." I don't look at it in that way. I think she didn't know that she was doing it consciously, but I feel like my body knew. Yeah, you can fucking relax. Yeah, you can go out and have connection and fun with your friends. Yeah, you can go out and you can go party. Yeah, go have a good fucking time. Go be a kid. Go be a young fucking person. Because shit is about to get really crazy. You're going to be an entrepreneur. You're going to have to deal with all of your deepest, darkest fears and your worries and your childhood trauma. And you're going to be telling the whole internet about all of your business, basically, as it supports other women in healing themselves. And it's just going to be a lot. There's a lot that's going on. So get into the fucking Fetty Wap of it all. Go out, dance to some YG, have a good time with the Migos. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't partying with the Migos, but the music was playing. Go have a good fucking time. Because shit's gonna get really serious and you're just not really gonna be in the club like that. So there are times in my life where I just don't want to work. And instead of feeling guilty and instead of forcing myself, I just don't fucking work. And I'm not telling you, don't do your job. I'm not telling you to do a no call, no show at your fucking job. And when they call you, when they fire you, you send me a fucking email and you say, "Bitch, you told me not to fucking work and now I don't have a job and now I can't pay my rent." I didn't tell you to do that. This is what I do. I also have an experience already of deliberately manifesting money. So even though I might get triggered around my finances and I might get triggered about cash flow, I have confidence in my tools that I have. So I'm not freaking myself the fuck out, even though years ago I was freaked the fuck out. But anyway, okay, what's my point? My point that I'm making is that I don't do work that I don't want to do. In January, I didn't want to work. There's a lot of shit that I just did not want to fucking do anymore. I didn't want to show up every single day. I didn't want to do post on, videos on YouTube every single day. The income gains are not that significant with me working more, just like with Instagram and Facebook, me spending money to get 5 likes on each post, and I'm not trying to increase my brand. I'm not trying to expand my audience through Instagram, and also the people who are liking my Instagram posts are people who are already students. Like, the audience is not warm, the audience is not engaging. And all of this is a reflection of my own belief system. I can change all of this, but I don't want to change all of this. The time and energy that it's going to take to revive my Instagram, to grow my Instagram following, I don't want to give that. And I'm not saying that it has to take 500 years. I could turn shit around in a month, but I don't want to give a month. I don't want to give a week. I don't want to give a day. I don't want to give a page of my journal to my fucking Instagram. Because the truth is that I don't give a fuck. The monitoring spirits just irritate me. And when I feel irritated with people, I just want to give less. When I feel really fucking irritated, I just want to give less. Because I actually let's just leave it there. So I have the thought, I don't have to be here on the Instagrams. And then I think to myself, no, girl, you're totally right. You don't have to be here on the Instagrams. Why are you on the Instagrams in the first place? It's because when you're ready to grow and expand your social media, you go back to certain things that have worked. And I know that I can always get coaching clients and stuff like that through the Instagram app, whether it's somebody that I've worked with previously or somebody new. It's just a path that I've walked down before, but just because I've done it before and it's gotten me results before does not mean that it's the thing that I want now. It doesn't mean that it's the thing that I have to do now. So in January, I fucking rested in terms of taking practical action in my business. I'm not going to do a pick a card reading if I don't want to do a pick a card reading. I'm not going to do XYZ thing if I don't want to do XYZ thing. I wanted to do written posts. I wanted to talk about the receiver's mindset. I wanted to do some podcast episodes. So that's what I fucking did. And then behind the scenes, I did my mindset work and I did my journaling and I did my shifting of energy, and the money flowed and the cash flowed as it does. And the money and the cash flow is increasing as it's supposed to increase, as I expect it to increase, in alignment with me vibrating, feeling, and thinking as if it is increasing. Money is responding to me, and my audience is responding to me, and my podcast is increasing in downloads. Yay! So I've been sitting with myself and I've been getting even more strategic with my business and how I'm moving. What do I want to do, and what's the plan? If you're not really fucking with the Instagram algorithm and you're not really fucking with the Instagram audience, I can say that. What are they going to do? Unfollow? Who gives a fuck? They don't like the posts. I can say I'm not fucking with you. Who gives a damn? You clearly don't, right? If I'm not fucking with the Instagram audience and the Facebook audience is basically non existent, or kind of semi-existent. I literally have had experiences of people who will say things about my business Facebook posts to my mother, but don't say anything to me. Like, oh yeah, such and such person was telling me that they really liked your post. They really thought this was helpful, or they would totally buy blah, 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 blah. And it's like, thank you so much. If only such and such person would have liked and shared the post. If only such and such person would have made a comment. But okay. I don't want to deal with it and I don't want to turn it around. Sometimes you don't want to turn shit around. That's okay. Sometimes you want to throw the towel in and give up. What do you want to do? How do you want to serve? How do you want to give? What avenue do you want to attract clients through? I don't give a fuck about attracting clients through Instagram. I see Instagram as an app for pretty cute pictures and aesthetic things. When I get back on Instagram, it will be for pretty cute pictures and aesthetic things. And it will probably be my private personal Instagram account. I don't know what I'm doing with my business Instagram account other than I have to make it private. I have to make it private because I don't want to post to it anymore. And I have to unpublish my Facebook business page because I don't want to post there anymore. I don't want outreach. I don't want to nurture that audience. I get to walk away. Like I said, I have a bigger, more engaged audience on my email list than I do on Instagram or Facebook. At this point, it's a waste of resources. It's a waste of my time. I'm not doing it. And the only reason why it's a waste of resources and it's a waste of my time is because I don't want to. To me, it matters how I feel. To me, it matters what I want. The second that I say I don't want to do this, I'm leaving. I don't give a fuck. If I want to do it, if my will is there, I will find a way. Your desire is the most important thing that you have. It is your North Star. It is your compass. What do you want? How do you want to serve? What is your desire? Because you can create success in any way. You can create success through TikTok. You can create success through Instagram. You can create success through YouTube. You can create success through your podcast. You can create success in any kind of way. But what do you want? What is your dream? What is your desire? Instagram for my coaching business is not my desire. It's never been my desire. It has always been something that I felt that I had to do. And my audience being full of monitoring spirits is just a source of irritation for me. All of it gotta go. TikTok was never something that I wanted to do for coaching. I was just on there doing tarot readings when my TikTok blew up because I was anti YouTube at the time. I had deleted my YouTube channel and then I started a TikTok channel. Then I got tired of TikTok because the algorithm at the time, I don't know if it is now, I don't give a fuck. It was, we're constantly showing you to new people. Thank you for showing me to new people, but also, I don't need you to show me to new people. I need you to show me to my people. I want my people to have an experience where they know where to find me and they know how to expect me and they know that when they open the app or when they do the thing, they're going to get my content, they're going to get my voice. And also, I don't want a 10-second thing. I don't want a 3-second thing. I don't want a 1 minute anything. I don't want to limit myself in time. I'm incredibly talkative. I love to have a little chit chat. I live for a little chit chat. Hello, you're listening to my podcast. It's Naked and Noisy. I'm your host, Natalie Hughes. I'm a life mindset and manifestation coach. In my business, on my platform, and on this podcast, I help professional women to co-create emotionally fulfilled lives for themselves. And I love to talk. I fucking love this podcast, you guys. I love Naked and Noisy. And so over this past month of June, what have I been wanting to do? Yes, I love to do my little typey posts. I love to send out to my email list. I have a newsletter. It's a semi-daily newsletter. I send out emails to my people every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's only going to become even more consistent as we move throughout the year. When I think about what I want in my business, I want a podcast that's booming because the podcast downloads are increasing. I want a podcast that is helping me to grow and expand my audience. I want a podcast that is converting like crazy. I want an email list that is converting like crazy. Those are going to be my two main primary forms of generating leads and income. That doesn't mean that I'm 86ing my YouTube. I like that my YouTube creates consistent income. I like that I have a loyal group of subscribers and supporters on YouTube. I love my YouTube community, but it means I'm going to be in YouTube the way that I want to be in YouTube. There's not a huge difference for me in terms of AdSense money when it comes to posting one video a week versus 5 videos a week. The difference in income is not that crazy. It's a couple $100s. I'm doing all of this work, hours and hours and hours, for the difference of a couple $100. Not worth it. And I'm not feeling inspired to do pick a card readings. If that changes, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited to do this reading, then I'll do it. I'm not forcing myself into any boxes, but I'm having a conversation with myself about what is my desire? What do I want? You know, sometimes on my YouTube, people will comment, they're like, I don't know why your channel isn't bigger. And I know that they're being nice, but it insults me. Yes, maybe once I've said I want 100,000 subscribers, but I was lying. I wasn't lying consciously, but I can look back at that and say, no, you're not telling the truth. I don't want 100,000 subscribers doing tarot readings because I know in my heart and in my soul, it's not going to be a sustainable thing for me. And I don't know if I want to say sustainable because it's not like I can't keep doing it. It's like I don't want to keep doing it. The way that my business is changing and shifting, the way that my creativity is changing and shifting, the different moves that I want to make in my life. I don't want to keep putting time aside every single week or every single day to sit down and record psychic readings. I want to teach you how to change your life. I want to teach you how to change your world. I want to teach you how to deliberately co-create the reality of your dreams. I want to teach you to heal from your past. I'm going to do that through transformative programs. I'm going to do that through an amazing podcast episode. I'm going to do that through community posts Like literally looking at the numbers, I don't typically look at the numbers. I don't look at views, I don't look at likes, I don't look at the number of comments, I don't look at engagement. I don't look at the metrics. I ignore the fucking metrics because they will drive me crazy. But scrolling through my YouTube community tab, I'm getting 20 to 70 likes on each of the posts on the YouTube community tab. So my audience is more engaged and I'm starting to get more comments on the YouTube posts than I'm getting on Instagram. But I'm paying somebody to post on the Instagram and the Facebook, and I'm doing the posting on the YouTube. Girl, we need to change it around so that the person, instead of posting on the Instagrams and the Facebook, the person is posting on the YouTubes and the email. So now our energy is moving efficiently towards what we already have positive momentum around. I already have belief that people are reading the emails. I already have belief that the emails convert. I already have the belief that people are looking through the YouTube. I already have the belief that YouTube energy converts to sales. It converts to clients. I know that Instagram can. I know that Facebook can. It's going to take a little bit more energy to get myself behind that. I don't want to give that energy. So I'm letting it go and I'm shutting it down and I'm simplifying. And so now what my work looks like moving forward is busting open that journal and getting tuned in, tapped and turned on to the frequency of my podcast growing and expanding and blowing the fuck up. That I like the idea of having a top podcast. I like the idea of having more listeners because I do want to reach a larger audience. But the thing about with like Instagram and stuff like that, people like DM me and shit, which is not a bad thing. If you've ever sent me a DM, don't think that I'm like, oh my God, I never want to have DMs or anything like that. That's not the case. However, I don't want to do business in the DM. Yes, there was a time, there have been multiple times, I'm sure, where I'm like conforming to what everybody else is doing and saying, and I'm like, DM me this word for the link. Why the fuck would I want to do that? Oh, because the more that you ask people to click through, then the less likely they are to buy. If you are deterred from having to click the link in the bio to buy the course that I'm going to ask you to pay $2,000 for, honestly, you probably were never going to be the fucking student. If you want it bad enough, you'll click my profile and then click the link in the bio. Versus clicking the comment section, typing out the fucking keyword, and then having to go to your DMs and then having to accept the fucking DM requests from the automated system. Girl, you can click the link in the fucking bio. You know what it never was? That's serious. So yes, I might have had moments where I'm doing the whole comment for this and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do that shit. I want to have DMs. I don't want to have that experience. I can't be the woman that you get personal one-on-one attention and access from at any given moment in time. I don't have the energy to do that. It might just be one DM in your mind, but if there's 5 people sending me one DM, plus the emails that I have to answer, the shit fucking adds up. One of the most irritating things for me as a business owner is having people cold. What is cold? Is it cold? I know cold calling is when you're like, calling people to pitch them something, but sending me fucking unsolicited emails. And then it's like, maybe possibly that would be a service that I'm interested in, but I don't have time to respond right now. And then a couple days later, they're like, following up. Girl, fuck you. Stop emailing me. And I'm not talking about people in business, and I'm not talking about people that I'm already in business with, and I'm not talking about people who are my students. You're not bothering me. This is a business, especially if you need support. Reach out. But when it comes to the soliciting emails, that shit adds up. You think it's just one person trying to get your business, trying to help you do blah, blah, blah. But when it's 5 people, but when it's 10 people, but when it's a whole bunch of people, and I've got email after email after email after email, like, fuck off. There's too much. My energy has been going out into too many fucking places, and I can't afford that anymore. My next level of self, as I continue tapping into this version of myself that I am becoming, she's more selective because she cares about how she feels and she cares about her energy. I recently ended a budding friendship that I had with a woman. And before that friendship was ending, I had to send her a message and tell her to stop sending me memes. Not because she's a bad person or there's anything wrong with her or anything like that. But I literally was like, when you send me this, it's just another thing on my to do list. I'm already going to the gym. I'm already creating content. I have to have time to speak to my ancestors. I have to have time to speak with my spirits. I have to have time for myself and my own personal growth and development, time for my own healing, time for my scripting and my journaling, time for my business planning, time for growing and expanding my creativity, time for learning, time for my Sudoku. There's so much shit that requires my time. And then you have like a house that has to be cleaned up. You have dishes that have to get done. You have laundry that has to get fucking done. You have a body that you have to wash. You have hair that you have to blow dry. There's so much going on in my life, in my day to day. And I know that you're sending me this meme because you want connection with me. And I'm so grateful that you've thought of me. However, this is not how I want to build connection. If I'm going to build connection with you, I'm going to do it deliberately. If you'd like to build deliberate connection with me, we can get on a Zoom call and we can sit and we can chat and we can talk. I don't like superficial intimacy. A lot of that just sharing of memes back and forth is superficial intimacy. It builds a superficial sense of closeness. I want real intimacy. I want genuine, authentic connection. And if we get to the point where we have real intimacy and genuine, authentic connection, and then I have the time and the capacity, and our relationship dynamic is one wherein we do the sending of the memes, fine, but not now. Not at this point in our relationship and not at this point in my life. I don't have the capacity for this. I don't have the time for this. And so she and I schedule a Zoom call, and then I end up staying up late the night before because I'm having a fucking nocturnal moment. And then when it's time for our call, I like wake myself up early because she's in a different country. And then a couple minutes before the call, she cancels the call because she's hanging out with the guy. And I go, okay, Diva, this friendship is not going to work. Mwah. Sending you love. Have a good day. Not because she's a bad person, not because she's unworthy of love. Nothing has to be wrong with her. It's about me. It's about what I need. It's about how I feel. It's about how I use my time. You only have so many opportunities to get put on my schedule and then to cancel and things to get pushed back and all of this other stuff before I'm like, listen, this is too unstable. This is not a sure thing. You need to go. Because I need stability and I need consistency and I need safety and I need security and I want relationship and connection with people who I can rely on. I'm not going to be stressed and I'm not going to be worried about what if this call is not actually a call? What if they're not actually going to show up? Ugh, I'm not doing it. I don't have time. I don't have time. There's actually way too much going on with me energetically. There's actually way too much going on as I step into my next level of income. There's actually way too much. I could be scripting right now. I could be sleeping in instead of taking that call. No. So, okay. I'm like, how did we even go into that 2.5? Like, oh my God. I was talking about this experience, friendship that I ended, telling someone about that. Oh, I was talking about my problems with Instagram, which isn't even worth finishing. I don't like the Instagram. I don't want to have an experience with my audience where we're DMing each other memes. I was never available for that. I've never been available for that. And I have an experience where sometimes in social media, I'm not talking about this particular woman who I was developing a friendship with, but sometimes in social media, people do develop parasocial relationships with you. And that's also something to navigate. So, the Instagram, not going to be a thing for me. We're done with Instagram. We're done with Facebook for now. When it comes to personal branding and different things like that, we'll get back on the Instagrams when it's time for me to get back on the Instagrams, when it's time for me to tap into my second YouTube channel. Then I will be tapping into the energy of the popularity and the energy of the community and the energy of all the things that I want and desire. But I don't want that for my business right now. I had to get really fucking honest about what I wanted in my business. I literally the other day went through my business and took off all of the payment plans for my courses because I don't want payment plans for my courses. They stress me the fuck out. I don't want to have an experience where you sign up for a payment plan and then a part of me is like wondering and worried about whether or not you're going to pay the payment on the payment plan. And then if you don't pay the payment on the payment plan, then you just owe my business the remaining balance. And yeah, and then I have to like keep track of that. And like, girl, fuck that shit. Just fuck that shit. Fuck that shit so much I don't even want to talk about the rest of the scenario. I'm not doing that. I am not having that experience where I am chasing money or dealing with that. I don't want to send you an email because your payment plan defaulted and all of this bullshit. I don't want to deal with it. Pay in full, pay one time, have the content of the course forever, come back to it a million fucking times, and let that be that. And if you want free stuff, listen to the amazing podcast, read the amazing, wonderful posts, get on the email list because the emails and the posts on social media are usually the same, but on emails, I typically make them longer so I can add more detail and stuff. So the emails that you get from me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday usually have a little bit more meat on the bones, but you know what I mean? Whatever. Get on the email list. Go read the YouTube community posts. Listen to the podcast. Get inside of the free resource library. It's always linked in the show notes, right? There's opportunities for you to receive goodness and value from me for free. There's an abundance of that. I don't have to price my business and set up tiers and payments and all of this stuff in the name of being quote unquote accessible. Every payment type is accessible to someone, and every payment type is inaccessible to someone. There's somebody else who cannot afford a $5 program right now. And I do not want $25 sales just to have made $100. That doesn't fulfill me, that doesn't satisfy me. I don't want a million payments processed. I don't want a huge volume of people coming into my world. I want to increase my income. I want consistent income. I want to scale my business and I want fewer transactions. So instead of focusing on, God, just the way that I was looking at things in my mind, it was just fucking overwhelming. And so I've taken myself from being overwhelmed with all of the possibilities and all of the different ways that I can, reach my financial goals to just keeping it so fucking simple. Right now, I am launching and focusing on selling the Receiver's Mindset course. It's $2,000. You pay it one time, you get access to the course contents forever. It's currently a 3-module course with a fuck ton of bonuses. Well, it has like 3 bonuses, but the bonuses are so fucking good. I just added one of the bonuses. I just also added another another training to module 1. I didn't just add the training from the podcast episode where I was talking about the gender and race impacting your manifestation. I also added another training going even deeper into that not so much about giving examples, but this time getting into the practical, getting into the manifestation principles. And then there's journal prompts, and we're adding a new fucking module this year. Like, I'm so excited. It's $2,000. I'm not planning on increasing the price anytime soon. What happens next year, I don't know. But for now, it's a $2,000 course. You're going to pay it one time. You're going to get instant access to all of the content in the course. And when I add more content, you'll have all of the updates for life. So if I add a new module next year, or I add new things to the program, you will get those updates too. This is everything that I have learned when it comes to receiving, allowing yourself to receive your desires. We don't have time to talk about the receiver's mindset right now, even though that is a big part of it, but let's finish up the episode before we get into it. I'm at a place in my business where I would rather just get 11 $2,000 sales and make about $22,000. And the reason why I say about $22,000 is because we have processing fees and, all of those things and taxes and all of that stuff to account for. And then I have to pay myself and blah, 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 blah. So $22,000 doesn't really look like $22,000 just right in my back pocket. But that's not the point. The point is that 11 sales of $2,000 really powerfully supports me in my financial goals. And what feels good to me is to tap into the energy of 11 new women enrolling in the Receiver's Mindset course right here and right now. That's what lights me up. That's what fulfills me. And that feels more easeful to me. And then my customer service needs and my customer service need, like, what's that? Like, my customer service need estimations, Because when you're making plans in your business, when you're wanting to powerfully increase the volume of sales in your business, you also need to make sure that you have the customer service support necessary. If there's hundreds of people enrolling in my programs every single month, I want to make sure that if you're emailing us for help and support with the website, that somebody can get back to you in a timely manner. I don't want to have the team that's going to help me with hundreds of sales right now. I don't want to focus on that. I want easy scaling my business, easy consistency in my business, easily having the income that I desire for the lifestyle that I want to live and the way that I want to save and the way that I want to invest and all of that stuff. So I'm planning and I'm being strategic, and a part of that strategy for me looks like asking myself, where can I scale back? How can I work less and make more? Where do I want to put my energy? I'm going to be doing this podcast for a very long time. I will be able to sit and record podcast episodes for you even in the fall as things really change in my life and in my world. Oh my God, you guys, does it sound like I'm pregnant? Does it sound like I'm pregnant? Oh my God, because I keep saying my life is going to change in the fall and I'm not going to have enough time. Does it sound like I'm preparing to have a baby? I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. I'm not pregnant. There is no baby in Ba Sing Se. And the joke is funny because there was a war going on. So that's technically like a lie, but I'm not lying. I'm not with child. If I was with child, I wouldn't be telling you things are going to change in many months. Okay, anyway. So, no, I'm not with child. Okay. Focus. We're wrapping up the episode now. So I'm scaling back. And now I bring you back to the question that I asked you at the beginning of the episode. If you could do anything and it was going to work for you, what would you be doing? And if you were able to do anything and it was working for you, if you were already living in that reality, what would be happening in your world? Those are two questions that I'm giving you for free. Journal on those. Script on those. Answer those questions. And it will tap you into the vibration of your dream output and your dream input. That's another question. What is your dream output and your dream input? Even though that's basically the question that I've already asked you, but if you want to ask it in a different way, there you go. What do you want to give and what do you want to receive? What do you want to create? Where are you giving your energy but you really don't have to. Where are you giving your energy just because somebody else said that you had to? Where are you giving your energy just because somebody who came before you said, this is the way that things always get done? Where in your life and in your work and in your manifestation process, maybe are you in your heart and in your soul feeling like this isn't for me? I don't want to do this. I want to do something different. Where are you forcing yourself to take action? Where are you taking practical action in order to compensate for what you're lacking mentally? Let me say that in a different way. Where are you taking practical action in your life in order to compensate for the mindset work that you're not doing, in order to compensate for your limiting beliefs? Instead of looking at your fear, instead of looking at the story that you're going to be abandoned, instead of looking at the story that the world's not going to support you, you're posting more on Instagram. Instead of looking at the story that you're not taken care of by money, you're taking on more shifts. You're getting a second job. Where are you taking practical action instead of going deeper with your mindset and going deeper with your self-awareness? There's a reason that when you get into the free resource library, the very first offer there is the 6 steps from stuck to self-aware journal. In order to deliberately co-create your reality, you need to be aware of your limiting beliefs. Because that's what you have to shift. That's what you have to overcome. That's what you have to move through. That's what you have to heal. That's what you have to debunk. And then you tell your new story. When you're taking all of that action and doing all of that shit, but you're not addressing the limiting beliefs, you're just doing too much and you're not going to see the positive change that you desire in your physical reality. And you're also going to feel like shit because you're taking action you don't want to take and you're working yourself to exhaustion when really you could be working smarter, not harder. How can you be working smarter, not harder? In your career, in your business? What do you want to do? And what if what you wanted to do was enough? What would be happening? Go to that place in your imagination. Go to that place in your journal. Tap into that every single day, at least once a day. And you will begin to attract ideas and epiphanies and ways of seeing things differently. I'm not telling you what I heard, I'm telling you what I know. I'm working less. Of course, sales are still coming in. Money is still flowing in because I'm a vibrational match to money. I'm opening up my journal and tapping into the energy of money being consistent and money being reliable and money being dependable and money seeking me out and money loving to help me and money loving to support me and the world working with me and the world wanting what I have to offer. And then it manifests as ideas for the podcast. It manifests as downloads increasing for the podcast. It manifests as women joining my email list. I'm getting more women joining the free resource library. And it's so funny when I tap into the energy of things growing. Women will get onto the free resource library. They'll join the free resource library. And it's not something that I'm actively talking about. But it is something that I've talked about in the past a million times. But there are moments, there have been months where new people haven't joined the free resource library. But when I become a vibrational match to people joining and not even just focusing, I'm not focusing on people coming into the free resource library. I'm focusing on money. I'm focusing on sales. And so if the women who are going to buy and are going to enroll are meant to get on that email list or are meant to join the free resource library for whatever reason, then that's what happens. And I just see the increase of enrollment into the free resource library as a reflection of my vibration. When I become a vibrational match to women who are ready to invest in themselves, when I become a vibrational match to consistent sales, I see things like that. I see an uptick in people joining the free resource library. I see an uptick in engagement across my social media. Those are results that I pay attention to. And then comes money. But I'm not taking internal action and changing my mindset and then looking at my reality and going, how are things changing? Are things changing? I'm not doing that. I'm in my journal, showing up every single day. And then my reality begins to change. And I say, oh, that's nice. And I get back into my journal and I continue to show up every single day. That's the game that I play until it feels normal and natural and obvious for me that I get to have money in this way, that income gets to flow in this way, that I get to have a podcast that powerfully converts. I don't want to put energy towards growing my Instagram. I don't want to put energy towards growing my Instagram engagement, but I do want to put energy towards growing and expanding my podcast and having a podcast that powerfully converts listeners into students. I will put energy and effort towards that because that's something that I can see and feel myself doing for many years to come. That is a worthwhile investment of my time and my energy and my effort and my mindset work. When you do the mindset work for long enough, when you manifest enough times that you're confident in your ability to manifest, you then start to have a conversation about what is it worth my time to manifest? What is it worth my time to focus on? It's not a question of what can I have? It's a question of what do I want? There's a song from Hamilton the musical, and they're singing about the Schuyler sisters. There's three of them. And one of the guys says, if you can marry a sister, you're rich, son. And Alexander Hamilton says, is it a question of if, or which one? That's the energy and that's the vibe. It's not a question of if I can have success. It's a question of where do I want my success to come through? It's not a question of if I get to manifest my desire. It's a question of what do I want? When I put my time, energy, and effort towards it, it must manifest. And sometimes it takes a second for the manifestation to come in. So if I'm not going to want this manifestation in a month, I'm not putting time, energy, and effort towards it because it might take me 2 months when I get into the nitty gritty and I'm looking at the limiting beliefs. If I'm not going to want it a month from now, if I'm not going to want it in the summertime, I'm not doing it. That's why my Patreon did not get launched. I don't think I'm going to want to do it in the summertime. I hate doing subscriptions because I hate being obligated to do readings because I know myself. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. And then I feel bad and I'm feeling guilty because I promised people things and I didn't get it. Girl, fuck that. I'm not doing it. Me wanting to do my Patreon was a great idea for something temporary. But I'm not taking action based on what I want temporarily. I'm taking action based on what I want long term. I make choices and decisions thinking about the long-term ramifications, period. It's very Capricorn new moon magic. It's very matriarchal. That's the energy. That's the vibe. And so I can conserve my energy and exclusively put my energy towards things that are important. A lot of the first business like mentors that I had would say, stop doing everything and just focus on things that are going to move the needle forward. Simplify. That's what I'm doing. I'm only taking action towards things. I'm only using my mindset for things that are going to move the needle forward. That's my advice, okay? If you want even more support in alignment with this episode, obviously, I highly suggest that you check out and enroll in the Receiver's Mindset. It is my signature program. I think it was the first program that I ever created, like the first course that I ever created. I did create a course before that one, but that course has since been retired. So this is like my oldest course, I guess. It was originally called How to Receive, and then it turned into the Receiver's Mindset. Like I said earlier, it's a 3 module program where I am helping you to heal your relationship with receiving. So a lot of women feel guilty receiving. They feel like they are taking from other people. When you want to receive more money, or you want to receive more love, you want to receive more care from your partner or from men in general, or you want to attract a relationship with a man who does take care of you, you have to heal the stories that are saying that you're not taken care of. You have to heal the stories that are saying you're abandoned. You have to heal the stories that are saying you're a burden on people, that it's bad for you to take from people, that you're a bad person if you receive your desires from people, that you're hurting them if you receive your desires from people. So the Receiver's Mindset is the course that helps you to heal those stories that say, I can't receive, it's not good for me to receive, I'm going to be a bad person if I receive. What if I receive and then people decide that they don't want to give to me anymore? They don't like my service, they don't like my work, and then I'm fired. What if I receive once and then I can't receive again? The Receiver's Mindset is the course that helps you to move through these thoughts. It is literally the program made to help you develop the mindset of a receiver. The woman who receives her desires on demand is the woman who argues in favor of herself receiving. She has a mindset, and she has mindset tools that help her develop a strong conviction around her worthiness. And your self-worth is how you believe that you deserve to be treated. When you have a healthy sense of self-worth, you know that you are an important, significant woman who matters and belongs. And so the woman with the Receiver's Mindset has that self-worth, that story that I am an important, significant woman who matters and belongs. That is at the foundation of every single choice and decision that she makes. Think about this episode. I am an important, significant woman who matters and belongs. So if I don't like the experience that I'm having on Instagram, I get to decide that I want to leave. If I don't like posting on Facebook, if I don't enjoy it, I get to walk away from that. At the root of me making the choice to close down those pages and to focus on something different is my self-worth. I am an important, significant woman who matters and belongs. I don't hang out in environments where I feel like people don't see me, or I feel like people don't appreciate me, or I feel like people are not responding positively to me. I don't have to do that. And because I have the Receiver's Mindset, I know that when I'm in a situation where it feels like I'm not being taken care of, I can alchemize that. Right? I can turn a situation where I'm not being taken care of into a situation where I am being taken care of. But when I have that self-worth, I know that I am an important, significant woman who matters and belongs. It's not just can I receive, it's how do I want to receive. It's what do I want to receive? How do I want to feel when I'm doing the work? Because I am an important, significant woman who matters and belongs to myself, I don't put myself in positions where I have to do work that I don't want to do. I'm not available for it. I'm not available for suffering. I have that belief system. I am an important, significant woman who matters and belongs. So, okay, as you move throughout the program, I am helping you move through every single aspect of that phrase. I'm helping you tap into the energy and understanding. I'm helping you to embody that knowing that you are an important, significant woman who matters and belongs. I'm helping you to establish a sense of worthiness around any of your desires. Worthiness is when you know that it is good and okay for you to receive. I am teaching you how to use your own mind and to use these tools to develop the knowing and the belief that it is good and okay for you to receive your desires. And when you know that you are an important, significant woman who matters and belongs, and you know that it is good and okay for you to receive your desires, and in a whole module of the program, we're talking about attracting your people, the people who are going to give you what you want, the men who are going to love you, the people who are going to pay you, the clients that are going to give you money, the corporations that are going to hire you. When you also know how to attract your people, so you're not people pleasing, so you're not falling into that trap of, okay, I know that I deserve to receive it, but I'm afraid that nobody's going to buy it. I'm afraid that nobody wants it. There's an entire module for shifting that. So you have a recipe for receiving your desires. You have a recipe for manifestation. You are learning to be the woman who argues in favor of herself receiving every single one of her desires. At that foundation, as you move through all of the trainings, you're tapping into this understanding that you are an important, significant woman who matters and belongs. That belief system will influence the choices and decisions that you make. Just like the belief that you're unimportant, insignificant, you don't matter, and you don't belong also influences the choices and decisions that you've been making up until this point. So you've got that powerful foundation of I am an important, significant woman who matters and belongs. And you're learning how to build conviction. You're learning how to build a strong fucking belief that says I get to have what I want. I should have what I want. I deserve what I want. It is good and okay for me to receive what I want. And then you're tapping into the energy of whatever people you need to support you. It's really the energy of being supported by the world. Understanding this reality is a cooperative component. It's not fighting against me. So the clients that I want, and the students that I want, and the companies and corporations that I want, the man that I want, is willing to show up and support me and respond to me. God, it's such a good fucking program. And our newest module is going to be about matters. What does it mean to matter? We will talk extensively about it in the coming weeks, so don't worry about that. It's an amazing program. You join now, you get instant access to all of the modules. It's a program that is made to help you again and again and again and again. You go back to it. You go deeper in it. I'm going back to it right now. I'm going deeper in it. I'm using the trainings. The other day, I used the worthiness text training to powerfully shift my energy. And then I used the journal prompts. I'm getting ready to go back into those once I get done recording this episode. It's so fucking good. It changes my life. It shifts my energy. It reminds me of who I am. It reminds me of what I can create. I read the worthiness module and I was just like, no, you're so right. And I literally just had an epiphany before a couple of hours ago. Time doesn't exist. I kind of forgot a little bit. At this point, yeah, it was a couple of hours ago. I had this realization of like, I just deserve to be here. Like alive and on planet Earth. And it actually gets quite deep. We don't have enough time for me to get into it. But I'm still having realizations and epiphanies and going deeper in my self-worth work through this program, through the journal prompts, through the teachings. It's amazing. Click the link in the description box to learn more, get super good detail about what's inside of each of the modules, and to enroll. I love you so much. I'll talk to you again in the next episode. Goodbye.